If you have a need, meet me at the tent and allow the Lord to bless you. God bless you as we celebrate your salvation, as we celebrate your liberation from sin, as you are reconciled to God and reconciled to his saints. God bless you.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paisol Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty. At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. You're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jiminita Swain and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. In response to United States President Donald Trump's activation of a 25% tariff on most of Canada's goods Saturday, Canadians opted to cancel travel to the U.S. in addition to boycotting U.S. alcohol and other products. But it didn't stop there. Some even booed at a local sporting event after the announcement. Meantime, Mexico struck a deal with the U.S. and have tariffs delayed for 1 month. Also, the United Nations continues observances for the Week of Interfaith Harmony. The week observed on the first week in February since a General Assembly designation in 2010 recognizes the imperative need for dialogue among different faiths and religions to enhance mutual understanding, harmony, and cooperation among people. The General Assembly encourages all states to spread the message of interfaith harmony and goodwill in the world's churches, mosques, synagogues, temples, and other places of worship during this week. And the KB and Friends event was a smashing success this weekend at the farm. Scores turned out to enjoy the pulsating sounds of Bahamian music with a number of artists, including headliner KB. In fact, a Bahamian who met KB in Exuma was invited on stage to sing KB's iconic I Am a Boatman song. Among those performing, Sweet Emily, Gino D, Fanchon, Mama D, Shine, The Ancient Man, and hosts of many more with standing room only. As for what's coming up in today's show, the Excellence in Education Awards ceremony is slated for February 22nd. We have some reps from the ministry to discuss the details, and it's Monday and she's buzzing with info. We have the Bahama Beauty in studio to tell us everything that happened on the weekend. That and so much more after the break. You're watching What's Trending.
We are the Essence Band.
And we're here today at the Sanctuary Studios recording our original song, Island Paradise, for the Ministry of Tourism. Let's go.
It is our very first official Essence song, and for it to be one that's attached to our country is an honor.
There is a different kind of realm that you enter when you create your own music.
It was inspired by everything that we found to be truly Bahamian.
The takeaway from this song would be, just a good vibe.
And we know that we wanted it to not just appeal to Bahamians, but also our potential visitors.
My favorite part has to be us exploring different tones.
The Junkanoo drums is something that is out front in this particular piece.
The elements that we put into the song, the goatskin drums, the cowbells, we wanted to also fuse it with a broader genre like the European pop that you would hear. That's what really inspired us to create the amalgamation that is island paradise.
The studio recording is very nerve-wracking, but we all decided that we're gonna have fun because it's for our country.
A lot of times, bands don't get to do their first song in such a grand scale. So we're humbled to do that, and it's been a great time. We've been having fun, we've been kikiing.
So I do truly believe that we are a family, and we like to operate as such.
It was a joy to find that we can write music and have fun while doing it. With this, tourism is everyone's business competition. It was a very exciting thing to be a part of, and to win was even more exciting.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Streetside Pizzeria.
2 enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
What? You don't know who TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, boy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, one.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Thanks for staying with us. Educators across the country are being celebrated for their outstanding contributions to shaping the future of our students. And this year's Excellence in Education Awards ceremony, exceptional teachers, administrators, and staff will be honored for their commitment to fostering academic growth, positivity, creativity, and passion for learning. In studio to discuss this year's award ceremony is Shavana Darrell and District Superintendent and the Assistant Director of Education, Michael Calmer. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thanks for having us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
All right, so Michael, tell me, what are the Excellence in Education Awards and why did the Ministry of Education Technical and Vocational Training see the need for them?
The Excellence in Education Awards is a brainchild of our minister and her dynamic team at the Ministry of Education in this year's World Teachers Day 2024. We wanted to honor our teachers' commitment during our years of COVID and coming now, transitioning out of COVID. We've had teachers who've been doing wonderful things, best practices. We also have administrators, guidance counselors who've been holding their own with innovation, creativity, motivation, longevity, and education. And so we wanted to pause for a moment just to ensure that we celebrate our excellent educators, and not just the traditional assemblies at a school, but we wanted to take them to a gala place, a wonderful place, invite the entire country out, and just pause to celebrate them. Highest standard.
That sounds good. So which groups of employees will be honored at this event?
Well, traditionally when we do things in education, we tend to focus on teachers. And we just tend to focus on one set of teachers. But this year, what we're doing is we're looking at the administrators, guidance counselors, those technical officers within the ministry, those officers working in ministry satellite offices, district offices, and of course, teachers too.
So definitely a wide scope of educators.
Yes, we want to ensure that all of our sectors in education are recognized and honored for the work that they are doing and will continue to do.
So how were the awardees selected?
I'm glad you asked that question. You know, typically sometimes we appoint committees and say, these are the people we're going to select. But we wanted to do it different. We wanted those persons who are in the field, working with those officers every day, to identify who are the best. We provided them with categories. There's 16 categories. And so supervisors made nominations, other teachers and colleagues and co-workers made nominations, and even our students, Student Choice Award, made nominations.
That's excellent. So Shavana, we want to bring you into the discussion now. How did these awards differ from the National Teacher of the Year Award?
In that, the National Teacher of the Year Award, even though it's something spectacular, it focuses mainly on just the teacher and the excellence of an individual teacher representing a school. These awards have a greater span. It's more inclusive. So you have teachers, you have guidance counselors, you have technical officers, you have administrators, you even have districts who would have been identified for doing something outstanding, something that spoke to the excellence that we see every day in education.
That's really awesome. So when and where will these awards be held?
When and where? Well, this is a gala. This is a bring all your glitz, your glam, your beauty.
The full nine yards.
Yeah, this is that kind of night, Academy Award style kind of night, which will be held on February 22nd at the Imperial Ballroom at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort. It begins at 6:30 in the evening, and we are expecting a spectacular night. So, yeah.
So how can individuals purchase tickets for these awards?
Tickets can be, well, they are available at the Learner Resources section at the Ministry of Education site, which is located on Mackey Street, and of course at Schools Management in Ministry of Education Headquarters Building, Thompson Boulevard.
And obviously, is this an event that's open to the public, seeing that so many persons are being celebrated?
Of course, of course. Everyone has been touched by a teacher. And so we want you to come and celebrate with your teacher. Come out. Civic organizations, parents, and even our corporate sponsors, our community partners, come out and let's celebrate that teacher that once impacted you.
That sounds good. So any final thoughts from you, Michael or Shavana, on the event preparations? How excited you are
speak
for
to
it?
Sponsorship.
Yes, one of the things that I want to let the Bahamas know, you want to be on board. You want to be one of our sponsors for this gala event. There is only one inaugural event, and you want to be one of those sponsors who are going to be a part of history. I think it's also fitting that we recognize the innovation and the visionary leadership that is within the Ministry of Education, because many people talk about these things, but to actually commit to identifying a committee, persons who are, we're all doing full-time jobs, but every week we get together to ensure that this event comes off. And so I want to recognize the committee. I also want to celebrate and congratulate our finalists that are from districts all across the Bahamas. We've got to remember that the Bahamas is an archipelago. And we have representatives, persons who are going to be
bringing them all in,
flying into New Providence, staying in a hotel, going to one of our stores. I wouldn't give anybody free advertising.
Please don't.
Go into one of the stores to pick up tuxedos and dresses. Getting their makeup done just for
that
this
kind
event.
of night.
And so I want to encourage everybody under the sound of my voice to ensure that you are not watching history, but you are experiencing this historical event in the Imperial Ballroom.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shavana, Michael, for joining us on the show today. And obviously, to the awardees, I wish you all the best on your special night. Well, you're watching What's Trending. There's so much more after the break.
diet-friendly special?
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Private and Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
What up, dessert lovers? It's Carrot Cake Day, and you know what that means. It's time to put the veg in delicious and celebrate the sweet treat with a side of humor. Today, we're not just munching on carrots. We're talking about carrot cake, the cake that somehow makes us feel healthy while we're stuffing our faces. It's like, hey, I'm eating vegetables, so this is basically a salad, right? Well, who needs a boring old salad when you can have a slice of cake with a little bit of carrot? It's practically a serving of vegetables, but in the form of a moist cake and creamy icing. Honestly, we should be eating this daily for our health. Who knew carrots could be so versatile? They're not just for rabbits. People, they're the secret ingredient that turns a simple cake into a party in your mouth with that cream cheese icing. Oh, it's the icing that was born with this cake. Did you know that carrot cake was invented as to make use of the surplus of carrots during the rationing? Well, they were like, what can we do with these carrots? Oh, I know. Let's turn them into a cake and make people forget that they're eating vegetables. And look at us now, decades later, still finding new reasons to enjoy a piece or three of this veggie pack delight. So today, grab your forks, your favorite cup of coffee, and let's get into celebrating carrot cake, proving that vegetables don't have to be boring. Happy Carrot Cake Day. Let's raise a fork to the perfect balance of healthy and indulgent. And remember, if anyone questions your slice, just tell them you're getting your daily serving of beta carotene. Well, there's more after the break.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what I say, boy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
In studio, we have the Bahama Beauty to bring us the latest buzz on social media.
Bahama Beauty, and here's what's the buzz for this week. If you got a good night's rest this weekend, count your blessings. Whether you're a Lakers or Mavericks fan, an NBA fanatic, just a casual watcher in general, or Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic themselves, you were too scared to even blink these past 2 days. The biggest trade in NBA history took place in the wee hours of the morning on Saturday as sports journalist Shams Charania woke the world up to the news of Luka Doncic being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. The secret deal that was reportedly only shared between top team executives shook social media as fans, analysts, coaches, and even players barraged X to express their utter disbelief. But even as shocked as we were, imagine how both players felt, namely Doncic, who, according to Charania, had no clue a deal was even in the works.
Now, I'm told Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, the players, coaches, a lot of people on both sides with the Mavericks and Lakers had no idea. I can assuredly tell you it's a fact. LeBron James had no idea this was coming. Anthony Davis had no idea this was coming. I'm told Luka Doncic is still stunned about this trade.
The 25-year-old superstar was eligible to sign a Supermax contract extension with the Mavericks worth $345 million. With this trade, Doncic now becomes ineligible to receive it. Yikes. Prior to his arrival in Los Angeles, Doncic took to his Instagram account to thank the Mavericks fans. 7 years ago, I came here as a teenager to pursue my dream of playing basketball. I thought I'd spend my career here, and I wanted to so badly to bring you a championship. The love and support you all have given me is more than I could have ever dreamed of. For a young kid from Slovenia coming to the U.S. for the first time, you made North Texas feel like home. In good times and bad, from injuries to the NBA Finals, your support never changed. Thank you not only for sharing my joy in our best moments, but also for lifting me up when I needed it most. To all the organizations I've worked with throughout the Dallas community, thank you for letting me contribute to your important work and join you in bringing light to those who need it. As I start the next part of my basketball journey, I am leaving a city that will always make me feel like a home away from home. Dallas is a special place, and Mavs fans are special fans. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Luka. Since the trade, fans have decorated the Dirk Nowitzki statue outside of the arena with thoughtful messages and heartfelt goodbyes for Luka, and not-so-nice messages for the Mavericks executive team. The Dallas Mavericks have also lost over 700,000 followers on their Instagram and counting. Are we seeing the birth of a new rivalry? We'll surely find out sooner than later when the retooled Mavericks take on the new-look Los Angeles Lakers at the Staples Center on February 25th. And if you thought your team was safe, guess again. Charania dropped yet another trade bomb involving the San Antonio Spurs, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. Star point guard for the Kings, De'Aaron Fox, should be experiencing heavy whiplash as just a few hours after commenting on the Davis-Doncic blockbuster move, his turn was indeed next. The three-team trade sends Fox to the struggling San Antonio Spurs and Zach LaVine to the Sacramento Kings. This weekend did not spare us when it came to shocking basketball revelations. Former Miami Heat star and Basketball Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade revealed on his podcast, The Why, that he had a part of his kidney removed in 2023 after doctors found a cancerous tumor.
I went in the doctor to look for something else, but because I did the full body scan, they were able to see my entire body, my entire insides, and they were able to see something that was on my kidney, on my right kidney, when I went in. Didn't go in for my kidneys. And so what I had on my kidney was a cyst, a tumor. But it was not nothing that could be biopsied. It was not nothing they can test unless they went in and surgically removed it. Took it out. And so I'm sitting in the doctor, and I just went for physicals pretty much, check on myself. And now I'm in the doctor, and the doctor's like, so you need to have kidney surgery.
In more exciting news, Chris Brown has defeated cancel culture. The residual singer won his first Grammy Award last night for Best R&B Album of the Year since 2011. Brown was notoriously blacklisted after the horrific 2009 incident with then-girlfriend Rihanna. Despite the backlash, Brown took to his Instagram to post in elation, "We did it." Brown successfully defeated top nominees including Usher, Money Long, Lucky Day, and Layla Hathaway. A monumental night for generational black talent. Beyoncé makes history winning Album of the Year. Despite being the most Grammy-nominated artist of all time, Beyoncé was never able to break through the glass ceiling until last night. It's also the first time in 50 years that a black woman has taken home the country category. Additionally, the singer joins a short but elite list of black women to ever take home the Grammy Gold Medal, adding her name alongside the most recent winner, Lauryn Hill, 26 years ago. And if it's one thing I love about Beyoncé, a win for her is a win for everybody. The country star took to Instagram to announce her Cowboy Carter tour beginning this spring. Tour dates can be seen on Ticketmaster for select cities. Tickets go on pre-sale February 13th. Valentine's Day just got a whole lot sweeter. After teasing their audience last month, releasing 3 snippets, the highly anticipated collaboration between Canadian rapper Drake and Party Next Door, Some Sexy Songs for You, is set to be released next Friday. Fans can expect 15 brand new tracks and will serve as a follow-up album for both artists' latest projects, For All the Dogs and P4. Influencer Tabitha Brown facing backlash amidst her response to Target scaling back their DEI initiatives. On Friday, Target joined the list of large American retailers in reducing their diversity and inclusion policies following Donald Trump's commitment to ending affirmative action. Brown, who produces a line of seasonings and in a lucrative partnership with the brand, posted this video to her social media accounts in response to her supporters asking her to sever ties with the brand.
I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations, listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1,000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop, our business will be hurt.
As you would expect, many users were enraged with her stance. This user asking, why have your products at a company that doesn't even want people who look like you to be there? Sell them on a website so people buy directly from you. Another adding, in the 3 biggest retailers and then some, but crying about losing one, which was disingenuous from the start. Lady gone, greedy and tone deaf. My thing is, technically, she's not wrong, but this is not the people's problem. Girl talks here other businesses to see what you can do, not boycotters who don't want to support racist rhetoric. Another, but isn't the end goal for these companies who rolled back DEI initiatives to have their products off the shelves? Or will they be sold among everything else moving forward? Also, as a CEO, you have to do business with people who like you and respect your core values. I understand where Tab is coming from, but she needs to start pivoting if she can. The Swifties are going to the Super Bowl again. Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs will face off in New Orleans on February 9th against social media's favorite NFL heartthrob, Jalen Hurts. Headlining the halftime show will be Kendrick Lamar with special guest SZA. Viewers will definitely be in for a treat.
Diet-friendly special.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy 1 box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
On Tuesday's show, we have a rep from Junior Sailing coming in to discuss the upcoming competition. And with Valentine's Day around the corner, the Perfume Bar has a few scents that may have your partner falling in love all over again. Well, that's all the time we have for today. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their insights and stories with us. As always, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more exciting guests, thought-provoking conversations, and lots of laughs on the ZNS network. Bye-bye.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The Minister for Grand Bahama says Grand Bahama is on the path to economic recovery. Plus, more heads in beds as the Progressive Young Liberals conclave boosts Grand Bahama's hotel industry. And a family dispute on Grand Bahama ends with a 22-year-old suspect shot by officers. We have an update from police.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
If you are a youth with moxie, no one should be able to tell you that your administration is doing nothing.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, not completely there yet, but Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says Grand Bahama is in the midst of an economic turnaround and things are poised to get even better as new investments are announced. Our Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, touted the more than $2 billion in investments the Davis administration has attracted to Grand Bahama since entering office at the PLP's two-day youth conclave over the weekend. She counts projects like the $665 million GB shipyard redevelopment, the $600 million carnival celebration key set to open in July, the $210 million health campus, and a soon-to-be-announced $348 million investment as part of the economic revitalization for the island.
My clarion call to you, young people, you youth ambassadors here tonight, is to control the narrative. If you are a youth with moxie, no one should be able to tell you that your administration is doing nothing.
While Moxie admits there remains challenges that need to be addressed, she says the Davis administration has had notable accomplishments like bolstering the country's economy in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic.
Smashing tourism records, decreasing unemployment to the lowest in over a decade to 8.7%, increasing minimum wage, building homes, addressing labor issues head-on, reducing VAT when those folks increased it, launching collab.
When it comes to young people, she says the Davis administration has not forgotten them, highlighting the school breakfast program, the National Youth Guard launched on Grand Bahama, and other initiatives.
Expunging records to give second chances, hiring many young people in immigration, customs, and on the police and defense force, and through our summer jobs programs, confirming hundreds of young people on the PEP program.
The minister says downtown Freeport has been renewed, phase 1 of UB North has been completed, construction and real estate are at an all-time high, and the work of government continues. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
In other news, the Progressive Young Liberals gathered this past weekend for a two-day conclave and rally at the Grand Ilocos Resort, focusing on key issues affecting the nation's youth. The event brought together Progressive Liberal Party leaders and young supporters to discuss the future of the Bahamas and highlight the party's vision for change. sea of gold and blue filling the Grand Lucayan Ballroom with scores of young people gathering for a rally-style event that put youth issues at the forefront. The Progressive Young Liberals two-day conclave setting the stage for the journey toward the 2026 general elections as the party prepares to defend its electoral bid. In a speech full of optimism, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis emphasizing that the Progressive Liberal Party is leading transformative change on Grand Bahama.
You know, our partnership with Carnival Cruises will mean thousands of passengers at their new cruise port as early as this summer, which will bring employment and entrepreneurial opportunities to all. The expansion of the Grand Bahama shipyard reaffirmed the prominence of Grand Bahama in the maritime industry.
With the island's economy still in recovery, the Prime Minister says that the government is taking a holistic approach to both the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort and the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport.
This is big, and getting it right is important. While our agreements preclude us from making any announcements during this final stage of crossing the T's and dotting the I's, what I can say is the developers are committed to embracing the culture of Grand Bahama while creating a world-class brand that enhances the tourism product on this island.
The event, held under the theme From Rhetoric to Action, came at a pivotal time as the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort has fallen through under both the F&M and PLP administrations. PM Davis acknowledged the public's desire for tangible results, but notes that the PLP is working to undo years of neglect from the former administration.
They made a big mess, then complained when we ain't cleaning up their mess fast enough.
Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper calling young people change makers and charged them to take the reins as they spread what he considers the good news of the PLP.
Write our own story. Be the visionaries who inspire a nation. Because you PYL.
DPM Cooper says the PLP is committed to tackling the brain drain, saying the government is focused on building a Bahamas where young people can thrive here at home.
We want a Bahamas where young people can afford housing, where they can take advantage of the opportunities created in the PLP for fintech, in digital assets, in the new cannabis industry.
Well, the PLP's conclave reeling positive results for local hotels on Grand Bahama as many reported high occupancy levels. Our Jolanda Thompson-Everest has a look at this story.
The Progressive Young Liberals conclave in Grand Bahama has had a positive economic impact on the island, with several hotels reaching full occupancy. General managers have expressed their gratitude, noting the beneficial trickle-down effect the event has had on the local economy.
This past weekend has been fantastic for us.
Veronica Clark, general manager of the Grand Lucayan, shares that the conclave brought together both local residents and visitors from across the country, filling 198 rooms at Lighthouse Point.
It is that now they're beginning to realize that our hotel is open and we are benefiting from our advertising results in the past. And I was glad to see that everybody was here to experience our services.
So just how much of a boost did the weekend event provide? Well, Clark says that due to the high numbers, some guests had to be directed to other hotels.
Conclave will affect the entire destination. In addition to the fact that we gained in hotel revenue, I'm sure they went into the community and were able to spend in the community, which also increases the revenue within the destination.
And the situation was the same at another local hotel. Lisbeth Knowles, general manager of Bell Channel Inn, a restaurant and bar, was pleased with the increase in business.
It has been a great week. We have been fully booked, 100% occupancy. It was like in the good old days, busy at the hotel and busy in the restaurant.
Boasting 30 rooms, all of which were fully booked, Knowles touts that while the year began slowly, they were grateful for this positive shift. She added that Bell Channel Inn hasn't experienced such high occupancy levels since Hurricane Dorian in 2019.
I think it might be back to... It was a sad time. It was after Dorian, but of course a lot of people came in to help, so we were busy after Dorian.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Now, the PLP's 2 days of conclave also came with its share of criticism and backlash from opposition members. Tonight, 2 members of the governing party are taking exception and have a different message for Grand Bahama residents, while also calling out the opposition for its failures. Cleopatra Murphy joins us now with more. Cleo?
Well, Raven, officials within the Progressive Liberal Party are celebrating a successful 2-day youth conclave on Grand Bahama, but members of the opposition are saying there's nothing to celebrate on the island. Tonight, members within the party are hitting back.
They have been a complete failure as a government themselves.
That's a message Progressive Liberal Party Chairman the Honorable Fred Mitchell has for Grand Bahamians amid criticism government is taking no real action to restore the island's economy.
These things take time to get done, and they're complicated and not simple to get unraveled. So there are a lot of irons in the fire, and they're going to bear fruit. But there's been a lot done already to help Grand Bahama restore itself, to support Grand Bahama as an economy, as a community. And hold on, and you will see even more progress.
That advice comes as Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama Kwesi Thompson criticized the PLP's youth rally this weekend, stating Grand Bahamians don't want words and empty promises, but results, as the Grand Lucayan remains unsold and the JB International Airport redevelopment stalled.
We cannot allow and will not allow Grand Bahama to fail. We have too much invested in it. There are too many valuable Bahamian citizens there. The economy is valuable to us and the success of our country. It is a sine qua non to that success, and we're going to do all in our power to make sure the people of Grand Bahama survive with their economy intact.
Mitchell hit back that 5 FNM MPs sat under the former administration but let the island fall into decline, something he says government won't allow.
I look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. We're seeing progress in Grand Bahama. Today we're opening the relaunch of a business. A few weeks ago we opened another business right across the street from here. Every day we're hearing of business people talk about how their sales are improving.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, adds he pays no attention to those critical of Grand Bahama's touted economic growth.
We're focused on the work we're doing, $2 billion of real investments, the shipyard, the Carnival Port well underway, significant progress being made.
He adds government is resolute in its mission.
$2 billion of real investments, the shipyard, the Carnival Port well underway, significant progress being made.
The Prime Minister during the weekend conclave admitted that there's still a lot of work for government to do, saying that the country must collectively come together to ensure that the dreams and aspirations of Bahamians become a reality. Live in the Newsplex, I'm Cleopatra Murphy. Back to you in studio.
Thank you for that, Cleo. In other news, a police-involved shooting taking place on Grand Bahama this past Saturday as police officials were called to de-escalate a family dispute. Police reports indicate that a 22-year-old mentally challenged man was the main suspect that was shot by responding officers. Our Shalia Rose spoke to the Commissioner of Police on this matter.
It was around 5 p.m. on Saturday when police officers in Grand Bahama responded to a domestic complaint in the area of Fiddler's Green. According to police report, officials were called on the scene to de-escalate the situation. However, a 22-year-old mentally challenged male aggressively charged at responding officers with a knife. Police say after many verbal attempts by the officer to de-escalate the situation,
that officer discharged the weapon and, of course, injured that man.
As police officers arrived to the scene, a male identified as a family member of the 22-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the forehead.
Police officers were called to a home where a man who had a mental illness, while being armed with a sharp object, did cause injuries to a family member.
Commissioner of Police Shandon Knoll says that the 22-year-old was taken to the hospital by emergency medical personnel. Now, according to police reports, the suspect remains in hospital where his injuries were listed as serious but stable.
Once we have completed that investigation, we will be able to further update you on that.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
And still to come,
The battle for leadership in Turks and Caicos is heating up. Who will come out on top? We will have that story and sports highlights when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison. Welcome to the new era of home improvement. Third Dimension is back and better than ever. Discover our latest products and services designed to transform your space. From innovative designs to cutting-edge technology, we've got it all. Your dream space is just a call away. Our team is here and ready to serve you, making your experience better than ever. Visit us today on Yellow Pine Street and see why Third Dimension is your go-to for all things home improvement.
Hair Depot is back! Now located at the LMR Mini Mall. Welcome to Hair Depot Plus, where health, beauty, and convenience connect. Get your Remy, Brazilian, drawstring ponytail, plus all your favorite lotion, ointment, oil, cream, and a wide range of organic and natural health products, herbal leaves, and tea. All at Hair Depot Plus. From wallets and watches to lawnmowers, weed whackers, chainsaws, cleaning products, luggage to toys, school supply, hair essentials galore, and more. From 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday, head to the all-new Hair Depot Plus in the LMR Mini Mall.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Coverage of the Turks and Caicos Islands general election is brought to you by the following.
Number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The race for leadership in the Turks and Caicos Islands is intensifying as the Progressive National Party and the People's Democratic Movement make their final push ahead of the February 7th general election. Let's go live to our Rumiko Knowles, who is on the ground in TCI with the latest. Rumiko?
Good evening, Raven. Coming to you from the world-famous Grace Bay Strip in Turks and Caicos Islands. Voters here will head to the polls in just a matter of days to elect the party and leader that they believe will push these islands forward. Two main political parties, the Progressive National Party and the Democratic People's Movement. I had the opportunity to speak to the chairman and campaign manager of both parties, and both men are confident of victory on February 7th.
Our strategy has been reminding the people of where we were 4 years ago and where we are today.
Jaquan Harvey, campaign manager for the Progressive National Party, says the choice is clear. Voters will re-elect the Honorable Charles Washington Mizik for another term.
He's trusted, he's proven himself, and I think the country is ready to return him back to office.
But the People's Democratic Movement chairman, Ezra Taylor, sees a different outcome.
This country recognizes that the current government, the current PNP government, has not met their expectations. In fact, they've failed miserably.
Despite suffering a crushing 14-1 defeat in the last election, Taylor believes the PDM, now under new leadership with the Honorable Edwin Astwood at the helm, is poised for a comeback.
We know he has the aptitude, we know he has the fire in his belly, we know he has the ideas, and he has a dynamic team to help push the agenda that we have forward.
One party is running on their record.
I see it as a term where the Premier is going to set some things or some policies in place that's going to be able to benefit Turks and Caicos Islanders for the next 50 years, similar to what he has done with the national insurance and other institutions that he has implemented.
While the other is campaigning on the future.
The Honorable Edwin Astwood is ready to lead, the PDM is ready to lead, our candidates are ready to lead, they're prepared, and they have a dynamic group of people that support them. We want everyone to come out and support the PDM because we want to take this country to a next level. And like our campaign slogan says, your future is our priority.
Well, the countdown is on, and voters will soon decide which path they will take. Now, I also had the opportunity to interview the current premier, and he will be in the national report, so stay tuned for that. Live from the Turks and Caicos Island for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Back to you in studio, Raven.
Thanks, Ramiko. Now our ZNS News team will be on the ground all week with the latest on the Turks and Caicos Islands election, and we invite you to stay tuned.
For the best in premium lubricants for your vehicle, purchase Super Synthetic Motor Oils and Hydraulic Fluids, distributed by KMW Battery and Tires in Freeport, Grand Bahama.
See and enjoy the island of Grand Bahama with so much to offer. H. Forbes Charter Services Limited is just what you need to make your next experience a memorable one. We serve groups of all sizes in cool and comfortable limousines, coaches, and buses. We're the one to call for sightseeing tours, charter services, bonfire on the beach, and other fun-filled activities. So come and experience Grand Bahama Island with us, where it keeps getting better.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
When rats are constantly terrorizing the masses, there's only one person who can stop them. After all, not even the strongest rat soldier can defeat the power of Budget Pest Control. With Budget, the toughest pest won't stand a chance. Call today at 351-7378.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a 58-inch TV from Security Depot or a great game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2 enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. First in Sports, Legacy Baseball League had its opening day on the weekend at the YMCA baseball field. It was the start of the new season where players, coaches, and parents came out in full support.
We started off with a session with the parents so they can know a little bit about baseball and what to look forward to with the future for their kids. Then this morning we had the coaches clinic so the coaches can know exactly what they need to do when it comes to the training and the development of the kids. This was done by, of course, the LDK performers, Mr. Antoine Richardson. No better person to do it, but a coach who is actually with a professional league. So we thought we would kick off with that coaches clinic, and then we did the grand opening, official opening, I should say, of our league. And we had the Secretary General from the Bahamas Baseball Association come and give remarks, and he spoke a lot about all the tournaments that we have coming up.
The most important part about this particular event is the fact that the community is driving this event, and our goal is just to empower them with information, resources, whatever it might be, so that they can continue this after we leave.
From the baseball diamond to the track, Grand Baymans Aiden Kelly and Quentin Gordon Jr. competed this weekend in New Providence at the Star Trackers Track Classic. Both Kelly and Gordon surpassed the curve to qualifying standard in the under-20 boys 100 meters. Kelly ran 10.47 seconds, while Gordon clocked a new personal best of 10.48 seconds, surpassing the 10.6 qualifying standard. Still in track and field, Anthea Shelton, competing at the University of Florida, set a new Bahamas national record of 6.98 meters in the long jump at the Razorback Invitational. Her jump also marked a new NCAA top 2 ranked jump and top 2 all-time in UF program history. And finally, in sports, Night League basketball is approaching its all-star break. So far, the league has been competitive, according to GBBA executive Trevor Smith.
The games are pretty good, and competition level is good, and high, a lot of fans coming out. It's same as we anticipated last year, but it's looked like it's much better this year too.
And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
What is Business Fit? Business Fit is a group health insurance package offered by BAF Financial. What are some of the benefits of Business Fit? No deductible, dental and vision care, hospital room and board, surgical treatment, labs, medication and drugs, maternity, doctors, clinics, specialist visits, chemotherapy and radiation treatment, air and ground ambulance, and preventative care. Business Fit, offered by BAF Financial.
Come and be blessed at the New Life Worship Center in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where Bishop Simeon Ouden is the senior pastor. Services are on Sunday at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Come and experience a time of praise and worship in the Word. Shisha Lounge and Restaurant, located in Grace Bay, Providenciales, your #1 night spot in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Come party with the stars.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight. They're coming your way next.
We've heard you. We know you're tired of the reruns. We're coming back, bigger and better, on The Legal Brief. I'm your host, Ramona Farquharson. Stay tuned.
St.
Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, contract canceled. A security deal pulled from one of the police force's top brass. Find out why, who's involved, and what happens next. Also, a look back at the economy's 2024 performance and what contributed to its highs and perhaps lows. And tens of thousands of local households to benefit from a multi-million-dollar investment in water services across the country. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Under review. In her first Meet the Press since assuming the top post, Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles today candidly revealed that government contracts awarded to Deputy Commissioner Anthony Kopp's role have been canceled, and the matter is now under review with the Prime Minister. Knowles was responding to concerns raised by the media this morning following reports of Rolls Security Company allegedly receiving a contract valued at over $900,000 at the post office. And this on the heels of the newly minted top cop's vow to weed out corruption within the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
I'm going to have a conversation with the Prime Minister to address these concerns. We do know that there has been information that one of our senior officers have had contracts. From what I have been told, those contracts were either canceled or not renewed. And so it is something that we are addressing.
Meantime, the fight against crime seeing mixed results as the Commissioner of Police reports a 10% decline in major crimes over the past year. However, even with this progress, murders have jumped by 9%. Devontae Hanna has been crunching the figures for us. He joins me live from the police headquarters. Devontae, what can you tell us?
Well, Makushla, those statistics being revealed here during Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles' first press briefing since being sworn into office. Now, one concerning statistic obviously is murder, which was pegged at 120 last year and became the 5th highest on record in the country. Now, while we worry about that, crime is on the downward trend, according to the commissioner nationwide.
The regional decrease across the board at a rate of 10% in New Providence, 10% in Grand Bahama, and in Northern Bahamas, and in the Family Islands District, 15%.
Well, the top cop says murders are up by 9%, punching in at 120 for 2024 compared to 110 in 2023. However, zooming in, the figures in the capital on a slight decline, but Knowles noted a sharp increase in homicides in the Family Islands.
We recorded 105 murders in New Providence for the year in review, which represented a 1% decrease over 2023, when 106 murders were recorded. 3 murders were recorded in the Family Islands, which is an increase from 1 incident in 2023, and 12 murders were recorded in Grand Bahama and Northern Bahamas District, which is an increase.
Crimes against the person also down 13%. That trend continuing with house breakings by 11%, shop breaking 16%, and stealing from vehicles all down 26%.
Armed robberies decreased by 28%, with 265 incidents compared to 368 in 2023. Most armed robberies occurred at street level, at our residence and business respectively.
Rape reports also headed south, but the top cop says the majority of sexual assault victims knew their assailants.
Rape decreased by 6%, with 46 cases, compared to 49 cases in 2023. There was no change in unlawful sexual intercourse cases when compared to 2023, with 90 reports in total.
All of these figures Knowles attributed to the increased presence of police officers on the ground, ultimately increasing the number of people arrested by 5% and the number of people placed before the courts to 40%. On the flip side, though, there was a rise in traffic deaths.
Despite our traffic initiatives and alerts, 66 persons lost their lives in 59 fatal crashes, which represents a 16% increase over the previous year.
Now, Makushla, still looking at those statistics, about 3,000 rounds or pounds, that is, of cocaine was confiscated last year. An additional 3,006 pounds of marijuana also confiscated. 421 firearms taken off the streets by police officers. And get this, 29,012 rounds of ammunition taken off the streets of the nationwide last year. And that's almost 20,000 more than in 2023, when police only took about 8,995 rounds off the streets of the capital and across the Bahamas. Now, for Shanta Knowles, the new commissioner, she says the focus will be on the way forward and ensuring that the fear of crime is down and that the Bahamian people and tourists alike, they remain safe and feel safe here in country. From outside of police headquarters, I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Devontae. Over in the courts, two men formally charged with a capital crime. Appearing before Chief Magistrate Roberta Reckley today was Devan Brennan, a 32-year-old resident of Prince Charles Drive who's accused of murder, and Mario Stewart, a 20-year-old resident of Balls Alley. Stewart faced abetment to murder. The charges stemming from the death of Philly area Sands. Sands was shot to death while seated in a car on Finlayson Street on Sunday, January 26. The 23-year-old had given birth only days earlier. The men accused of the crime were prosecuted by Inspector Dion Barr and defended by attorney A. Lewis. They were not required to enter a plea due to the gravity of the charges. Stewart faced an additional charge of armed robbery. It's alleged that on the same day as Sands' murder, he and another individual, armed with a handgun, robbed Catherine Newton of a 2013 Nissan Cube, a Nokia cell phone, and $75 in cash, altogether valued at $6,800. He was also not allowed to enter a plea to this charge. Well, murder and arson charges also read out loud to 46-year-old Quentin Russell in relation to Anishka Barnaby's death. The 31-year-old woman of West End Avenue off Blue Hill Road awoke to find herself on fire on January 6th this year. That horrific awakening led to an extended stay in hospital as doctors and nurses worked to save her life. She had over 85% burns to her body. Family members said Anishka had to be placed in a medically induced coma due to the extent of the pain. Unfortunately, she died on January 22nd. The case has been adjourned and will resume in court number 6 on May 21st. And that's when a voluntary bill of indictment will be served, fast-tracking the case to the Supreme Court. Meantime, remember last month's viral video of a female prison officer beating another female at a barbershop? Well, that officer has been disciplined. She was fined $1,000 for her inappropriate behavior while in uniform. She's also ineligible for promotion for the next 3 years. Prison Commissioner Don Clare says the punishment takes effect within 7 days, unless, of course, the officer decides to appeal the decision of the BDOC's disciplinary tribunal. According to the commissioner, the female will also undergo counseling. Coming up, Caribbean IDB governors meet here in the Bahamas. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Crunch your KFC craving with a KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Get a piece of our golden fried chicken, crispy fries, cheesy mashed potatoes, 3 juicy all-white meat nuggets, a buttery biscuit, a sweet dessert biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda, all for just $9.95. Now that's a deal. Big flavor, bigger value, and always KFC. Finger licking good.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC wherever your journey takes you.
Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. On February 22nd, 2025, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training proudly presents the Excellence in Education Awards Ceremony, a night to honor the heart and soul of education, our educators, administrative, and technical support teams. We'll honor creativity with the Innovation Award, perseverance with the Resilience Award, and long-term commitment with the Longest Serving with Excellence Award. Celebrate school pride with the School Spirit Award and proven strategies with the Best Practice Award, spanning from early childhood to alternative education. We'll highlight rising stars with the Gen X Award, heartfelt contributions with the Student Choice Award, top school performance with the Academic Excellence Award, and so much more.
Hello?
You guys had anything to eat as yet? Y'all know Christmas just gone and the rock.
All right, but y'all let me working all day, but what we gonna eat?
If we was by the mall, we could go by Wendy's and get the Dave special for $5.
Yeah, but you do know that the Dave's deal is now actually nationwide, right?
Wait, let's go. Cable Beach right there. Let's go.
All right.
Is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Safety first.
You're looking at a shot there of downtown Nassau, the Supreme Court complex and Parliament, and that's including the Senate and the House of Assembly. That drone shot courtesy of cameraman Neville Smith. Thanks, Neville. Welcome back. The government and the Inter-American Development Bank this morning signing a loan agreement that will see the Water and Sewage Corporation's efficiency, quality, sustainability, and potable water supply resilience and wastewater services all greatly improved. Corval Pfeiffer has the story.
In what's being called another milestone in the strong and productive relationship between the Bahamas and the IDB, a signing Monday of a $100 million conditional credit line for investment projects and an initial $50 million water supply support loan between the Water and Sewage Corporation and the IDB for the improved sustainability of potable water.
This project will boost sustainability and resilience in water and wastewater services in New Providence and the Family Islands. The project is about water, but it's about wastewater collection and reduced sewerage that have an impact when you have an overflow.
Prime Minister Philip Davis boasts that this partnership between the government and the IDB continues to play a crucial role in advancing the country's water and sanitation sector, which he says remains at the forefront of his administration's efforts.
We remain steadfast in our commitment to improving the delivery of water and sanitation services to every Bahamian, especially as we confront the challenges of climate change and rapid urbanization.
The IDB chief, meantime, says the scope of the project will be unparalleled.
65,000 families will benefit, which means 235,000 people will benefit from this project.
The $50 million from the initial operation will focus on improving access across the Bahamas to potable water supply, enhancing the efficiency and resilience of WSC's operations in the Family Islands by reducing non-revenue water and replacing critical and poorly performing wastewater facilities here in New Providence. Through this contract signing, which took place right here at the Bahama Resorts Convention Center, in short order, 700 New Providence residents and 600 across the Family Islands will, for the first time, have potable water. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Well, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, this morning issuing a challenge to Caribbean governors of the Inter-American Development Bank, urging lending institutions like the IDB to rethink their policies about access to climate financing and developmental funding. Bringing remarks as the 13th annual consultation with IDB Caribbean governors got underway, Mr. Davis warns that with the enormity of the threat from climate change, more has to be done both regionally and globally. In no uncertain terms, he's demanding greater funding.
My message remains the same. As a start, we must have a serious discussion about the expansion or removal of the 30% cap on policy-based loans currently set by IDB. In this era of climate change, given the unprecedented scale of our needs, it is time to rethink the percentages of funds dedicated to policy-based loans that go on to fund our developmental needs and agendas.
The Prime Minister, who's made a name on the global stage for his championing of the existential threat posed to small island developing states like the Bahamas, emphasized the need for urgency in taking action.
The clock is ticking, and our needs are urgent. It's time to take swift action to drive progress toward a more sustainable, climate resilient, and prosperous future for the Caribbean. I'm certain that my regional colleagues are in agreement with me on this point, as we share many of the same priorities and are committed to overcoming them together.
Well, the local economy experiencing some growth last year, but as expected, things are slowing down. But as Felicity Darville tells us, the central bank vows to continue monitoring trends and pursue the appropriate policies to safeguard financial stability and the value of the Bahamian dollar.
The Bahamian economy grew at a healthy but a moderate pace in 2024. Now, things are expected to slow down but remain steady in 2025, according to Central Bank Governor John Roll.
The Bahamian economy expanded at a healthy but moderated pace in 2024, led by the performance in tourism, and continued foreign investment also attracted into that sector. Employment gains continued to register, and developments remain supportive of the government's deficit reduction efforts. The Bahamas benefited from additional moderation in inflation as average consumer price increases slowed at the international level, and domestic energy sector adjustments caught up with the external savings from reduced oil prices. In the monetary sector, domestic credit growth strengthened significantly, with lending conditions more improved and average loan delinquency rates further subsided.
Nevertheless, as activities subsisted below the level that central bank anticipated, the banking system's liquidity further expanded and the external reserves grew modestly.
The economy's growth rate is projected to have slowed to below the estimated 2.6% recorded in 2023. There was further moderation in tourism activity, in stopover tourism activity, that is, which, although fully recovered from the pandemic, faced a constrained supply of hotel rooms. Based on available data when compared to the same period of 2023, air arrivals, which are mostly stopover visitors, were approximately unchanged over the first 11 months of 2024.
Mr. Roll said marketing the tourist product further and looking at room pricing will aid the #1 industry in the gains the Bahamian economy needs. Felicity Darville for the Bahamas Tonight.
With us, there's more to come in the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken. Those pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
From time immemorial, we have been hearing about Grand Bahama reaching its elusive potential. Well, we are finally heading in that direction.
Join us for the 26th annual Grand Bahama Business Outreach, February 13th, under the theme, Prioritizing Inclusive, Sustainable Growth. Don't miss this networking opportunity. Register today at tclevents.com.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do?
Hey, check the website one. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Well, Turks and Caicos Islanders are preparing to go to the polls for another general election. On the ground for us is our Ramiko Knowles. Ramiko, what can you tell us? of the concert's three MCs, ZNS personality Hope Shelley-Ann.
Life is not always easy. We may find ourselves in situations that turn our worlds upside down. No matter how low you believe you have fallen, get help if you need it. Do what you have to do to get on your feet again. This message was brought to you by the Bahamas Psychological Association.
Well, we do apologize. Bahamian music lovers showed up and showed out in droves to the farm on Marshall Road Saturday for the latest installment of the Keep the Vibe Alive Boatman concert featuring KB and friends. An estimated 5,000 patrons danced the night away to the sounds of Gino D, Ancient Man, Sweet Emily, and the Spank Band. It was also a changing of the guard with music by newcomers Ebony 242, Mama D, Keisha, Tarai Roll, and Shine 242. Promoter Les Turnquest partnered with ZNS Radio to produce the most attended Bahamian concert in years. On Monday, Dion Morris, Senior Director of ZNS Radio, proudly presented a check of part proceeds from the concert to General Manager Clint Watson to assist the corporation's outreach programs.
It's going to be able to allow us to do what we've been doing all last year and into 2025, even greater this year. We've been doing a lot of partnerships with civic organizations, adopting schools, children's homes, feeding homes. This is how we're able to do what we're able to do because of people contributing. And that's what we earmark funds from, to be able to assist more community projects. And we look forward to doing even more of that in 2025 because of successful partnerships like this one.
Well, as we were telling you, one of the concert's three MCs, ZNS personality Hope Shelley-Ann, was asked about the overall response to the show.
What the turnout and the response told me about Bahamian music is that our Bahamians truly, truly do listen to the station that covers the entire nation, the National Voice, because it was put to them to respond to whichever radio station it is that you listen to that promoted this concert, who brought you here. And of course, when we mentioned the Good Morning Bahamas show with yours truly, the one and only Hope Shelley-Ann, the response was the loudest. Bahamas, we thank you. Continue to listen.
Well, we're going to throw it now to LaDawn to give us a sneak peek of what's coming up in Access Now. LaDawn?
Well, Macushla Doris Johnson hero Michael Ferguson received a full-time scholarship to BTVI in the fall. We have that great story here in Access Now coming up.
It's good stuff. Stay with us. The National Report is back after the break.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Setting course for industry success, Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, revealed the vision for the aviation sector for 2025.
First of all, we are very proud of what we achieved in aviation in 2024. Today, stakeholders from, of course, our entire ecosystem gathered, and we actually unveiled the 2025 vision for aviation. This year, we are strategically focused on what we call taking flight. We have spent a lot of time and yielded great results in 2024 with both regional, global, and local stakeholders in deepening those partnerships. We are doing a lot more of that in 2025. So you'll hear us now speaking about our approach to have all parties seated at the table. Your domestic, your international stakeholders, your domestic carriers, your international legacy carriers. You want to give everybody, again, through strategic partnerships, not just a chance to be in the room, but a chance to sit at the table. So we're deepening our partnerships in 2025. I'm very pleased now with this H part of our Take Flight, the development of human capital. Human capital, again, gives us the most competitive advantage in any industry. So you'll hear us now speak about a mentoring approach. We're looking at the next generation of aviators, preparing them to take leadership roles. You'll hear us about our leadership roundtables. This is going to be our intentional focus as it relates to developing human capital. So this is going to be the year we're not just focusing on developing projects, we're focusing on developing people. We call it the 3 Ps, people, projects, and improving our processes. This is going to be another banner year for aviation, and this is going to be that we actually take flight.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
The Turks and Caicos Islands are preparing for a general election. Campaigning on their record, the island's premier is confident voters will re-elect the governing Progressive National Party come Friday. We go live to Ramiko Knowles, who's on the ground in CCI. Ramiko, what's driving the premier's confidence in securing another term?
Thanks, Makushla. The confidence of the premier stems from the fact that he says that they have delivered on key promises made during the last 4 years in office. The PNP leader points to significant achievements in infrastructure, healthcare, economic growth, and education as proof of his leadership. He argues that it is the reason he believes that they will be elected on February 7th, and says that his track record speaks for itself. I also had the opportunity to speak with the leader of the opposition, who was unavailable for us tonight, but we will speak with him tomorrow. Now, for an extended version of this interview, you can tune into the rundown tonight. For the Bahamas Tonight, live from Turks and Caicos, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Back to you in studio.
Well, thanks, Ramiko, and that there does it for the National Report. But stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS television network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
As godliness is next to cleanliness, the Golden Isles constituency holds a community cleanup. Look out for that. Plus, hero student Michael Ferguson receives a full scholarship. Some good news there. CH Reeves celebrates its Junkanoo win. Stay close for that. And coming up in sports, Panthers claw their way to the Ladies Volleyball Championship.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for coming on board with us tonight. Let's dive right into the news, shall we? We all take personal responsibility to keep our surroundings clean, including our homes and yards. But how often do we consider that as a community? We should work to keep our neighborhoods clean. While that responsibility mainly lies on the government, the areas in which we live would look much cleaner if we put in a little effort together. That's exactly what happened in Golden Isles this weekend. Felicity Darville has a story.
Residents in Golden Isles may have awoken to tractors and dump trucks traversing their area, but it was for a good cause. A community cleanup effort led by Member of Parliament for Golden Isles, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, sought to drastically improve the appearance of neighborhoods in the area. Bushy areas were cleared and debris moved in an ongoing community cleanup campaign. Golden Isles residents took time out of what would otherwise be a restful Saturday morning to make the effort to clean up their area.
And as long as we make it a consistent effort, we shouldn't have a problem. And it also helps with, like you said, the crime issue. People want to feel safe, in this time. So
it's a part of the constituencies. The expectation is that we stop from throwing our litter on the side of the road. We take it and put it in a dustbin to be disposed of. And the effort is that we can encourage the whole community to do that.
Mr. Miller admonishes residents in Golden Isles and throughout the Bahamas to stop littering, as it'll greatly increase the aesthetics of our country.
There's persons who are driving, sometimes you see them throwing it out. And I drive the airport road almost daily. That can be clean one day, one morning. And that afternoon when I'm driving back, you begin to see litter. That spirit of cleanliness that we used to have, that I grew up with, when they didn't have fancy modern things like rakes. They had tree limbs. They had a part of the coconut tree that they would use, and they kept their yards and their communities clean.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
A simple walk to school turned into a life-changing moment for Michael Ferguson. A few weeks ago, the 12th grade student at Doris Johnson Senior High sprang into action to rescue a woman trapped in a car, and today his bravery was recognized in a very special way. Ferguson received a full scholarship from a private donor to assist with school supplies when he attends BTVI in the fall. He also received gifts, including a token of appreciation from the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, Minister of Energy and Transport, for his heroic efforts. Reflecting on that day, Ferguson said he didn't think twice about helping.
Things like that, I can't see things like that in front of me and just let it happen. I felt like I had no choice but to help her. It was my duty.
High school community is beaming with pride, praising him for his courage and quick thinking. Principal Kent Lightbourne says his actions set an example for all students and exemplifies what it means to be a Mystic Marlin.
Putting others first. I think that's the most important thing. People think that a hero means you have to have some great strength or some superpower, but I think that to put others first is really where the heroism begins. We see it about the campus in little small ways, but his influence is being felt among our student population, especially our young men, because I always want to see our young men stepping up to the plate and being the type of citizens that this country expects this institution to produce.
While today was about celebration, Ferguson says the experience had taught him an important lesson about stepping up when it matters most, and he hopes his story inspires others to always help those in need. The parade might be over, but for some, the fun has just begun. Today, C.H. Reeves Junior High School held a special assembly to celebrate its recent accomplishment of winning the recent Junior Junkanoo Parade. Tajaro Hudson attended that special assembly.
When I say C.H., you say Reeves. C.H. Reeves. C.H. Reeves. When I say number, you say one. Number one. Number one.
2 straight was the chant at C.H. Reeves today as Raptor Nation celebrated 2 consecutive victories in the junior high school division of the Junior Junkanoo Parade. Special guest, Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, had this to say about the Raptors' performance on Bay.
What I saw was precision, excellence, a honed craft in dance, in music, in rhythm. Second to none. Second to none. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. I hope you all hear me. Yes. I hope you hear me. Yes, Mom. I want you to look at me when I say this. Yes, look at me. Yes. I am proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Dr. Sterling McPhee, principal of C.H. Reeves, was not surprised by their victory, stating that excellence is always their goal. Now, Raptor Nation says they aren't stopping there. In fact, they want to go after that 3-peat next year. Will they be able to do it? In the meantime, we'll tell you. In the Bahamas tonight, I'm Tasharo Hudson.
Good job there, Tajaro. Thank you so much. Well, it's the month of love, and this month would not be complete without the Heart Ball. Here to join us to tell us more about the ball is Yolanda Fernanda, who serves as public relations for the Heart Ball. Yolanda, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you, LaDawn, for having us.
So let's get right to, I guess, the serious side of the Heart Ball. Who actually benefits from it?
Well, the little children that have heart defects, they benefit almost 100% from the Heart Ball. We 96 cents on every dollar is actually going towards their surgery. So they're the ones that benefit most.
So let's get right into, I guess, the Heart Ball. Talk to us a little bit about the performances and what can, I guess, patrons expect from the ball this year.
Well, this year is our 59th annual ball. We've been around for more than 50 years, 60 years. But the ball only started a little less time than the organization. And like we say, if it's not broken, no need to fix it. But we have all the entertainment as usual lined up, the silent auctions, the raffles, the bands, the DJ. You know, people come there and they win beautiful prizes like 60-inch televisions, and they also get very great artwork from Bahamian artists around town. They normally, you know, they donate their stuff for us, and the prizes are top-notch, so you get very good quality gifts from us. Every table gets a prize, every table, and all the prizes from every table is over $100 in value, sometimes $200 in value. So anywhere you sit in the room, somebody at your table is going to win. Like 2 to 3 prizes per table, and then there's the other things if you buy raffles and stuff. But we have our Ed Bryce Orchestra for the ballroom experience, so you could feel like you went to a ball. And they're also known as the Soulful Groovers, and so they bring the excitement at the end of the night. And then we have the Defense Force Dance Band. They always ramp up the crowd and have us dancing all night.
So where can persons who want to, I guess, attend the ball, where can they actually purchase tickets?
Well, the Heart Foundation is located on Cable Beach Strip, opposite the Swiss Bakery Shop, directly opposite. We have our sign out, and you can't miss us. And you could come there and you could purchase tickets anywhere from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And when and where is the ball?
The ball is going to be at Bahama again, and it's on the 15th of February. So all those persons who don't have a place to take their date for Valentine's Day, they can purchase tickets and bring them out to dinner and have that nice, elegant experience.
And dance the night away, right?
Dance the night away.
Yolanda, it's always a pleasure to have you here on the Bahamas Tonight Access Now, and all the best to you for your Heart Ball.
Thank you so much, and we must say we can't go without telling you, thank you so much, because you guys always support us by having us on to talk about the ball.
It's always our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. Sports is up next.
Bok choy, carrots, green onions, lettuce, bananas, and so much more adorn the garden of Stapleton School, cultivated by its students.
They develop different skills, like how to plant in, how to identify different plants, how to identify different seeds, and how to apply organic matter, because here in our garden, all the product is from healthy. It's healthy, and we don't use any chemical fertilizer.
This program, the purpose of this is to prepare them for the job market out there. The agriculture is a pre-vocational skill, and with this skill, they not only learn the skills of planting and weeding and so forth, the skills that they learn here is also transferable. So the thing is, in this program, the students get to, say, for instance, time. They learn time management because they have to be in the garden at a certain time. On the job, they need to be on the job at a certain time. They also learn how to work together as a team.
And of course, the wider community benefits.
We sell produce, a whole lot. Bok choy, kale, banana, papaya. We sell a whole lot here. So, and lettuce. So, we also sell to the public. We sell to the teachers, to the parents. So the word is somewhat out there that Stapleton School has a garden program going on.
Well, don't let me buy up all of the produce. Come get yours. For Ed Talk, I'm Madama Williams.
Mini pancake mixes, 32 ounces, $1.99. Seabass chunk tuna, 5 ounces, 2 for $1.89. Iceberg picnics, $1.99 per pound. Iceberg lettuce, $1.99 each. Fresh tomatoes, $1.99 per pound. Every time you shop, you can save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Looking at a live shot of the Go Slow Band, Destiny Reed took that shot. Let's take a flight to join Corval Pyfrom in Exuma. Paradise is what so many of us have dreamt about having, while one developer is turning his dream into a reality. Tonight, Corval Pyfrom takes us to beautiful Samson Key in the central Exuma Keys as a turtle grass resort and island club begins to take shape.
Vacation to the Exumas nearly 20 years ago for successful Cincinnati businessman Bob Coughlin sent him on a completely new journey. He fell in love with the place and sought to figure out how he could carve out a piece of it to enhance and share with others. That's what led to him acquiring these multi-acres of land nestled on Samson Key in the central Exuma Keys. Now he's creating what will be a dream getaway, the Turtle Grass Resort and Island Club.
Okay, well, we've built our industrial dock, as the team saw earlier. We've created a construction crew. We've done the architecture for the first phases, done the engineering, broken ground on multiple buildings, which are now coming up out of the ground. And we believe by the end of this calendar year, we'll have the first phase of the project done where we can actually host a limited number of guests.
This is a project that is breathtaking in scope, unparalleled in its sustainable practices, but all of that says its developer could be under threat because of another proposed project from a nearby developer. That's because if this project is approved, it could mean there will be massive dredging to facilitate a new dock. Coughlin fears this will create a safety hazard and disruption for his guests, not to mention, he says, its adverse ecological impact.
And people come to the Exumas for the environment and the beautiful waters, and we're going to defend that.
The Department of Environmental Protection and Planning has told ZNS News that so far the application for that proposed project is still under review and no decision regarding its approval has been made. Meanwhile, Coughlin is monitoring the situation closely, and though deeply concerned, he continues to move forward with creating his dream paradise.
Putting the infrastructure in, the solar, and ultimately we want to be a good neighbor here in the central Exumas, you know, as a tourism attraction as well as one that focuses on making sure that we preserve the environment.
So far, there are at least 25 full-time Bahamian employees working on this project. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Junkanoo is our culture. The very sound of the drums set the body in motion. On the heels of Junior Junkanoo, we have Junkanoo alumni joining us this evening. Aldika Kohlberg, chairperson of Junka Fusion, and trustee Kalano Bain. Both of you, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you, Ladon.
So Kalano, I want you to talk to us a little bit about perhaps the Junkanoo alumni and the role it plays in cultivating our culture.
Yeah, so our mission for the Junkanoo alumni, Junka Fusion, is to
we would have noticed a decline in Junior Junkanoo over the years. And to get more schools involved, we saw fit to host an event to get the alumni involved and help them come to Bay Street to encourage the younger kids to participate. And we would have noticed some of our schools that would have not participated in many years. I'm a music teacher at C.I. Gibson, and one of the things that we are proud of, we haven't been in Junior Junkanoo from 1998, but we would have seen past Thursday that we would have made history. History would have been made after almost 30 years, and so that was one of our goals of the alumni of Junkanoo Fusion, to get more students and more schools involved. And we saw that it's a very exciting thing that that we put on.
Now, Dika, you've been in Junkanoo Fusion since its inception. Talk to us a little bit about, I guess, what's on the agenda for the year for Junkanoo Fusion.
Well, this year we are back again at it, LaDawn, and May 3rd is our date. And so we will be hosting the parade this year at the Bahamas Hot Rod Association. So everybody was like, we need a bigger location. Yep. So we got a bigger location so that we have more persons who are able to attend the event. And now we also have more schools that have now signed on. We started with about 6 or 7. Now we are almost to 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the alumni are calling and they're getting themselves organized. And listen, this year, this is going to be a hot show. You don't want to miss this.
Aldika, Carlano, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you.
Thank
all the
you.
best to you in Junkanoo Fusion.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
We will be back right after this. Stay close.
At Cartwright, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Cartwright members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Cartwright, where membership truly has its privileges.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one and the car say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
The Whopper with cheese never tasted so good. 100% flame grilled beef, now juicier. With fresh ingredients as usual. And even fluffier buns. The Whopper with cheese. Bigger, better, tastier. Get a regular combo for only $9. Only at Burger King Nassau.
Welcome to your Monday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. A major announcement made this past week that is set to change the course of the local boxing community. Our Charles Fisher attending the press conference and tells us more in this report.
That stroke of the pen, the World Boxing Federation of the Bahamas under President Wellington Miller is now the official recognized amateur boxing organization in the Bahamas.
We only recognize one, so we don't recognize two governing bodies in the same country as mandated by the International Olympic Committee. So the Bahamas Olympic Committee, again, as I stated earlier, we are obliged to recognize, so the IOC recognize, because we have been given a mandate not to recognize AIBA. And the new governing body in which to recognize for boxing under the umbrella of the Olympic Committee is World Boxing.
Olympic President Romel Knowles explains the reason behind the move.
For a number of years, for those of you who know, will understand that there's been a difference between AIBA, the Bahamas Boxing Federation representative, and the International Olympic Committee. For, I believe, the last two Olympiads, the boxing segment was ran by the IOC and their delegates. And so the IOC have encouraged the formation of World Boxing with a view of governing the sport of boxing worldwide.
The association formed back in November 2024.
Very, very important that we give young men and young women an opportunity to take part in the Olympic Games. And not only the Olympic Games, the CAC Games, the Pan Am Games, and then on to the Olympic Games.
Now the situation is a little bit complicated to the boxers as to whether to compete under AIBA or World Boxing Federation of the Bahamas.
I will tell them compete. There will be competitions under AIBA. There will be competition under World Boxing of the Bahamas. I tell them compete until we're clear on if there are any consequences in competing in both. We just don't know. All we're being mandated to do is recognize World Boxing. Again, this is a side of politics of sports that I don't like, but I will tell you that the Bahamas will be a strong advocate to ensure that athletes are not penalized until World Boxing set up their own various championships.
President of the Amateur Boxing Association of the Bahamas, Vincent Strawn, also present at the press conference and has decided to stay with AIBA. We will hear his punch on the matter in our next Sportscast. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
That's a look at your sports on this Monday. A check on weather, and we return.
We got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We love to brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. These 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Cybersecurity is really a matter of national security. Kill Bahamas is about making sure that every organization in the Bahamas recognizes the importance of, one, being prepared, two, understanding what that preparation looks like, because at the end of the day, we see that as a part of our cybersecurity initiative, and this is why I'm delighted to be hosting this conference. Securing the future. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Alive Business Cybersecurity Summit.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a
8-inch TV from Security Depot, or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2 entered to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Time now for your Access weather forecast, and what we can tell you for the next 7 days, you will enjoy some warm and humid days, but the nights they will continue to remain on the mild side. Now, your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected from the worst storms. In the northwest and central islands tonight through tomorrow, those winds are going to be east to southeast, 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide will take place at 11:55 tonight, but a low tide at 6:16 tomorrow morning. And for the southeast bombers tonight into Tuesday, easterly winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. So we ask you small craft in the southeast bombers to exercise caution. Wednesday in the northwestern islands, the winds become southeast at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights continuing at 2 to 4 feet. Now the low tide on Wednesday will occur at 7:22 in the morning, with the high tide at 1:09 in the afternoon. And in the central and southeastern islands, easterly flow 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. The caution flags will continue for the central and southeastern bombers. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Come on, bring it. Oh, jump. Woman pull up to Miami Airport door with the biggest box I ever saw.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. LaDawn?
Thanks, Basil. The weather seems to be warming up just a little bit. Let's take a look at Let's Talk Socials with Matea Cunningham.
Evening, 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 as most Bahamians would say. This is Let's Talk Socials, and I'm your host, Matea. Now, let's talk Grammys, shall we? And no, I'm not talking about grandmothers, I'm talking about the Grammys, officially known as the Grammy Awards. They're one of the most prestigious music awards in the world. Most artists deem themselves arrived once they've been nominated for or received a Grammy Award. Social media took little to no time at all to begin discussing what they deemed the 2025 Grammy highlights. Let's go through the list. Number 1, Doechii, who we discussed several weeks back, won Best Rap Album and delivered an empowering speech encouraging young black women like herself. What a way to start off Black History Month, Doechii. Number 2, Benson Boone, most notably recognized from TikTok and American Idol, made a statement by flipping off of the piano during his performance. Number 3, Beyonce had 2 historic moments. She won Best Country Album for Cowboy Carter, becoming the first black woman to do so in 50 years. And she finally won Album of the Year, accepting the award alongside her daughter, Blue Ivy. Number 4, a tribute to the late Quincy Jones featured performances from Stevie Wonder, Herbie Hancock, Cynthia Erivo, Lainey Wilson, Jacob Collier, and Janelle Monáe. And finally, number 5, Sabrina Carpenter's Broadway-style performance of her famous hit Espresso, done in a delightfully campy and comedic way, might I add. Now, these aren't all of the highlights, but these are the ones that social media just couldn't get enough of. Did you tune into the Grammys yesterday? Even bigger question, are the Grammys largely watched by a Bahamian audience? Food for thought. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials.
Day of the Grammys last evening was a pretty good one. And that does it for Access Now. Stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. Good night, everybody.
By giving unconditionally,
not expecting anything in return. I thought it was a wonderful way of showing this love, and I believe that it is love that truly draws people. And so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
PREP stands for Prepare, Refocus, Educate, and Produce. When young people come to the program, we make them feel comfortable. We may break out into groups. When Philip asked Nathaniel, Nathaniel said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Has anyone said, "Can anything good come out of Canaan Lane? Can anything good come out of Ball's Alley?" There are a lot of young people in Canaan Lane who are excelling in track, who are doing well in school. What I started PREP to help to do, to get people to understand and notice that there are problems and issues that are going on with our young people, that indeed we who can do something should do something. And so PREP is here for them, creating the opportunities, letting them know that there is potential that you have not yet discovered within yourself. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
At Harold Point, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you all with us for yet another week, a great week ahead, as we discuss things that are pertinent and important to our country. But first, we begin tonight with news from our southern neighbors. Now, the countdown is on for the Turks and Caicos Islands general election, and Premier Charles Washington Missick is making his case for re-election. Confident in his administration's track record, he believes the Progressive National Party will secure another term on this Friday. Elections are this Friday, February 7th in the Turks and Caicos. Now, Northern Service News anchor Ramiko Knowles is in the Turks and Caicos for us all week covering the elections. He sat down with the Premier for an exclusive interview where he reflected on his accomplishments during the past 4 years in office. Here's that story.
Why should the voters of Turks and Caicos Island give you a second term?
Well, for one, I have a strong record as an individual in politics and the leadership in this country, and the Progressive National Party, in the 49 years since ministerial government has been introduced, have a track record of building institutions, providing safety nets, and supporting the voters of this country. And so we have a strong record to run on, while the other side are just running on rhetoric. Every institution that has been built in this country for the last 50 years has been built by the Progressive National Party, whether it's schools, hospitals, clinics, you name it. We believe in building institutions because they outlast lives. Like Shakespeare says, you come on, you have an entry and you have an exit. Institutions last forever. And we either build them, reform them, or strengthen them.
You talked about a number of the things you were able to deliver on. Is there any specific things you're looking forward to delivering during this term, if elected?
Basically, my focus has always been, and that's the basis of our contract with the people, has always been triple bottom line sustainability. That's the economy, the social, and the social structure, and the social system within the TCI, but importantly, also the environment, because everyone in this country makes their money from the natural capital, the environment.
getting to immigration and safety and concerns from some of the residents here on Turks and Caicos Island, crime is a major one for many of them. Opposition members seem to think that the PNP does not have the answer and that they have the plan for it. What is your response to the crime on this island and the importation of illegal firearms?
Well, first of all, if the opposition has a plan, where is it? Have you seen it? Have they published it anywhere? They don't have a plan. They have absolutely no plan. We have a plan. We've been working that plan. We've been resourcing the police. We've given them everything they asked for. We'll continue. I can list some of the tools and equipment and resources that we've given. Mobile police station, armored vehicles. We've introduced something like 12 or 13 new pieces of legislation to give the police more power of arrest, to give them more power and to deal with guns and gangs, increase prison terms for violent crimes, particularly the use of firearms. We have identified, put in additional radars to protect our borders in order to reduce the immigration, the illegal immigration coming into the country. Right? We have purchased land for additional, to build new detention centers. I have made a commitment to the people of this country that my government will break the back of crime, and I don't care what it costs, right? Because the safety of my people, the safety of our communities, the safety of our tourism industry depends on us breaking the back of crime. And in the short term, we'll be investing a lot of money on detection and punishment, but in the longer term, we will have to invest a lot of money into prevention, including rehabilitation. We have a program, we'll be introducing a program for youth, a youth service program. People of these islands are smart, right? They know the difference between rhetoric and racket. They know the difference between pie in the sky, unachievable, unrealistic promises, and what could be delivered. We've kept the economy strong. We've kept free of debt. We've provided social services to our people. Every person over 70 in this country, even if they have never worked a day in their life, even if they have never, if they have no pension, had no pension before, they're now getting $1,000 a month as a minimum. We've grown the social security benefits to indigents, to orphans, to old people, and we've provided for short-term pensions or support to people who are furloughed during the seasons, tourism breaks in the seasons, for short periods of time, up to 8 weeks. We're focused on people, because at the end of the day, that is what matters.
All right, our Rumiko knows there, and of course we can expect Rumiko to be speaking with the opposition leader tomorrow, so we hear both sides vying to become the next leader of the Turks and Caicos Islands. And just for some background information, this year's Turks and Caicos Islands elections will see significant constitutional changes and will be the first general election of which 9 at-large MPs will be elected. That's according to, of course, Wikipedia. Now, TCI's House of Assembly was renamed as the Parliament of the Turks and Caicos Islands this past December, alongside a term increase to a maximum of 5 years. So they'll join us in 5-year terms. The electoral system was also modified. And of course, that's modified so that some 19 instead of 15 members will be elected to Parliament, with 4 formally appointed seats becoming at-large constituency seats. Now, the constitutional amendments were unanimously adopted by the House of Assembly and afterwards authorized by the government of the United Kingdom in late 2024. Remember, there's still a colony of the UK, so UK has to still approve these things legislatively. Now, the Turks and Caicos is a 2-party system between the People's Democratic Movement, led by Edwin Aswood, and the governing Progressive National Party, led by Charles Washington Missick. Now, according to the TCI Sun newspaper online, Turks and Caicos Islands is set to usher in a new era of voting with the cutting-edge DS-200 electronic voting machine, marking a transition from the traditional paper-based ballot to a more modern, secure, and efficient system. Way to go, TCI. You're ahead of us. We encourage you to stay tuned, of course, to the ZNS network all week for the latest on the Turks and Caicos Islands elections. We are there with a team on the ground. We will be covering them and also bringing those returns to you live on Friday. So you want to stay with one network. We have you covered throughout the region, here not only in the Bahamas, but also in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Now, back here at home, it's not for us to discuss an election campaign just yet. However, tonight we're talking about something equally important. It's called education. The Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training's vision statement makes it clear, providing all persons in the Bahamas with an opportunity to receive a quality education that will equip them with the necessary beliefs, knowledge, attitudes, and skills required for life, both in a democratic society guided by Christian values and in an interdependent, changing world. Now, tonight, the Director of Education joins us live right here at this desk, and we're going to have an interesting discussion about public school education. A lot of the questions that have raised come up, particularly in this particular school year. We're going to have a candid discussion with this. She'll be right here after the break. You're watching The Rundown. We're back right here on the ZNS Network after this. Stay close.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
You've set big goals for your future, and we can help you to achieve them. Getting that degree you've always wanted, buying your first car, making it official on a truly special day, or building a home that's your own. Big or small, share your ambitions with us, and we can help make them real.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Welcome back to the Rundown. A special good night to all of you who are watching online. Those of you in the line saying, I see you, you're here. I see some of your comments about the Turks election. It should be interesting. And then, of course, those of you watching on YouTube, always great to have you as well. And then those watching through via various networks, cable network or BGZ Flow, always a pleasure. We appreciate you being a part. Well, she's no stranger to education. Having been a teacher for over 30 years, Dominique McCartney Russell has served on the islands of Abaco, Andros, Grand Bahama, and here in Providence. Before being appointed as Director of Education, she served as District Superintendent of the Abaco District from 2017 to 2022. Now, McCartney Russell has led the Abaco District schools through the COVID-19 pandemic and Hurricane Dorian. She's worked on strategies to increase school attendance, including the Find Every Child Task Force initiative, walkabouts, and attendance officers. Director McCartney Russell joins us tonight on the Rundown. Director, it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, you know, I was reading something in your bio just, and I thought, you know, this might be a good place to start in that you worked on projects to try and improve school attendance. How are we now? I know from the time we had COVID and there was a fall off, there's been this thrust by the Minister of Education to get people back in schools. Are we back where we ought to be pre-pandemic levels?
We are. During the pandemic, for example, we had like 54% attendance on our virtual platform.
54?
54%, so you can imagine. But right now we're at 92% consistently.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, it is. Although we are aiming for 100%, Clint.
Well, where's the 8%? What are they doing?
They are chronically absent. We consider any child who's been absent for more than 2 days without receiving a note from home or some medical certificate, we consider them chronically absent. Because if a child is absent 18 days, that's 10% of the educational opportunities missed. And so it's important for us to ensure children have access to opportunities.
What are you finding out why they're home? Is it because they're sick? Is it because no one's there to get them ready for school? Is it because they just can't go, or problems at home?
Well, actually, it's a plethora of reasons. Some of it is just the fact that their basic needs are not being met, the need for uniforms. There may be some issues with their registration forms. They may not have all of the documentation. And so it's really a lot of different issues. Some children are taking care of their siblings.
Really?
Yes, they are.
We have children who are staying home from school to take care of their siblings.
Yes, they are. Yep. We have actually had officers, because of our hotline, community members would call in and they have discovered a number of children in a home, and you know, the oldest is taking care of the younger children, and so we have to provide support services for our parents. And of course, instill in them the importance of education and the need for children to participate in those opportunities.
I was going to ask, is there what could you do legally? I mean, is it against the law? Is it, or you're just going to encourage the parent? I mean, what can you do legally?
Well, the Education Act says that children must be in school from 5 to 16.
So it's a requirement?
It is a requirement, and parents are required to register their children. And so we use a lot of moral suasion because, you know, we want to help parents. Sometimes they have conflicting priorities. They may work, you know, very early or work 2 jobs, and so we, with our partners like social services, we support parents. We remove the barriers so that children have access.
It's a valid point you make, and I think I'm glad to interject this here, because sometimes it's not always all negative, because you may say, oh, that's a bad parent, your child ain't in school, you should know better. But then you just raised a valid point. If you work at 6 o'clock in the morning shift, and you got to get up to be to work for 6 o'clock, the kids are probably still in bed. And there's nobody home to make sure they get up, get ready, put on their clothes, do the basic hygiene requirements, get breakfast. Well, thank goodness for breakfast in schools program, and then get them to school.
And sometimes they may not have a responsible relative, and sometimes it's out of fear as well. You know, they don't trust people.
Right.
And so, you know, we try to support parents through our partners like social services, urban renewal, and then of course we have other strategic partners who assist with uniforms, with breakfast, and all of those support services that children may need.
Let's talk a little bit about this particular school year. Is there a particular focus that you're trying to put into the school year, this curriculum?
Well, to be quite honest with you, our focus is providing access, number one, because we are an archipelagic nation, but also providing high-quality opportunities for our children and providing holistic education, because we know children are not just physical beings, but emotional and social, and ensuring that they are globally competitive. They're able to excel wherever they go in the world.
Are we now then considering our curriculum that it's not just based on academics? So we find that our kids, they may be gifted in other areas and are not what I call the traditional traditional subjects, the math, the English, and so forth, but they have technical skills and vocational skills. Are we now building a curriculum that encompasses all skills that our kids may have and not just the academics?
Well, the saying now is that skills are the new currency. And so our focus is on performance-based, project-based learning, because students need more experiential opportunities. The curriculum must be relevant, it must be rigorous, and it must meet the needs of the clientele. And we have a very diverse clientele. They all learn differently. And one of the things that our practitioners in the classroom do in the first instance is to identify how do children learn. And we don't ask the question, are children smart, but how are they smart? And so we want to provide differentiated instruction, which means that we must include in that more hands-on opportunities with real-world examples and applications. And so we're focused on curriculum reform, you are correct, providing more cluster technical opportunities for children even at the primary school level. And so we consider all of our subjects academic, whether it's applied, you know, and so we want, at the end of the day, whatever that child is interested in, they have an opportunity to participate in.
Let's talk about the Family Islands, because a lot of people should be aware that we have to literally duplicate, because of our archipelago, the education system on every island. And regardless of how much people on the island, you still got to provide a school.
Yes, sir.
You know, you may have 30 children, but you still got to provide a school and then still provide teachers. How are we balancing the challenges we've had in being able to find teachers to go to these islands to provide certain specialty subjects and to ensure that those children are not without? Are we using technology to perhaps link them to teachers in Nassau, or are we just eliminating those subjects, or are we able to find teachers to actually fill these vacancies on the islands?
We're actually focused on providing quality teachers in all of our districts. And so, yes, we do focus on the core curricula, but we have hired over 40 technical and vocational teachers, so we have teachers all the way in Acklands providing support for our children. Special education, yes sir, Spanish. We're providing a holistic education for our children, and where the opportunities are lacking, we do have the virtual platform. We use augmented reality and virtual reality to provide support for those students who may need that extra support because we don't have the physical body in the space. But for the most part, we have really been increasing our special, I would call them specialty teachers, in all of our districts.
Do we still have vacancies on Family Islands?
We do. We have vacancies not just on the Family Islands, but mathematics is a concern for us, physical education, performing arts. While we have 142 music teachers, we only have 5 dance teachers. And so we're seeking to increase our performing arts teachers. We're actually in talks with the University of the Bahamas so that there could be a development of at least an associate's, a bachelor's degree in performing arts, because as we've indicated, our children are, you know, more than physical beings.
And we're developing the orange economy, which is going to need people.
Yes, sir. And Bahamians are very artistic. You know, we need to tap into the creative aspects of who our children are, not just because of their self-expression, but because of what it does for their cognition as well.
I want to go back to where I started, and we're talking about the school attendance. Do we still now have truancy officers back in the schools, and how are they impacting the numbers?
We hired, I think, a little bit over 16 officers in 2021, and we would have placed them into various schools in 2023. In schools where we saw the need, we wanted them to be really close to the issue, and so they actually serve with the guidance counselors. The teachers would identify students who have missed school for more than two days, and they would actually do home visits with the attendance officers. And the goal is to remove the barriers. If there is a barrier, remove it so that that child can get in school and receive an education.
I want to just divert a bit from our public school system, because you also have oversight for the private systems as well, and NACOB obviously is the accreditation of these schools. And we've been hearing about schools popping up around the capital. How are you addressing that through NACOB?
Well, NACOB, you know, is our regulatory body that governs all of those schools. We actually rely on the community to, you know, let us know when these schools pop up, because sometimes they pop up in someone's home, and then you know, the traffic jam through your neighborhood, and so people actually call in. And once they call in, because NACOB can't be everywhere, but once they call in, NACOB will send their inspectors, you know, to see what's in the environment, the infrastructure, the curriculum, the quality of the teachers in terms of training. And so we have some wonderful people on that NACOB council who do justice for the children of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so we say to the community at large, if you see something, say something, so that we could monitor and evaluate those institutions.
I know there's a recent outbreak of a flu in Cat Island, where a large number of kids had to go home. Has that matter been resolved yet?
Yes, in fact, we had, I think it was about 48 children, a little under 40 children were, you know, sent home as a result of the symptoms. And of course, we would have had to speak to parents, you know, let them stay home if they're not well, because they infect other people. Some teachers were affected as well. So we still have a few students who are at home as a result of the doctor's orders, so that they, you know, they are convalescing, and once they are well, they will be back in school. But while they are home, they have access to the virtual platform. We made sure that they, you know, the continuity of educational opportunities would not be missing.
It's all with the National School Breakfast Program. Is that still making the impact it was intended to?
Listen, that is a wonderful program. We have served over 421,000 breakfasts to over 11,000 children in 88 schools. We've seen attendance improve by 3.3%. We've seen socialization skills develop, more conversations at the table because they're sitting together. And we've certainly seen tardiness improve, although tardiness is still a problem for us. But at those schools where breakfast is being served, those children are there early. And it provides support for our parents. So the cost of living for parents has decreased as a result of them not having to fix breakfast for their children.
That's some good stuff. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the quality of teachers in the profession. Is it still there? Are we losing it? I know that you're going to turn up the TV now, but it's a reality we need to discuss. We'll talk about that and some other matters when we come back. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Stay close.
Since a young girl, I always loved watching the women come in and get their hair done and commune together with everybody. I grew a great appreciation for that. I always had a great, great love for making women feel beautiful and just the atmosphere of a beauty salon. Hi, my name is Asia Cartwright, and I'm a hairstylist at the Glow Bar in Old Fort Bay. I enjoyed accounting. I did it professionally for a few years. After the pandemic, I decided to take a leap of faith, go off to school in Atlanta at Aveda Institute to learn the science behind hair, because I realized this is my passion. This is something that I really wanted to do, but I wanted to understand the real depth of, okay, why does hair do this? Why is it responding this way? What do I need to do to help someone get on their best hair journeys? It's not been easy. When it's fueled by passion, you always have an extra push and motivation to just try harder. It's being fueled from your heart space. I enjoy making women feel beautiful. I enjoy being a listening ear. It's more than hair, it's like therapy. We all leave leaving lighter. For women that are, you know, facing some type of fear, that want to change their path and careers, I would say do it. I trusted God because I don't feel like he would have given me the vision and the dreams if it wasn't for me. It doesn't matter what no one says. It doesn't matter, you know, how it looks from the outside. And I'm going to give it my all, and that's what I do.
To learn more about the Women Entrepreneurs Initiative, visit our website or contact us at 461-7232. And remember, empowered women empower women.
You're
is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest tonight is the Director of Education, Dominic McCartney-Russell, and we're having an interesting discussion about the education system. This is important for you to listen and learn, right? Because as a people, we become so overreactive and so emotional with matters because we don't understand. You don't have the knowledge. And these shows, segments are designed to give you understanding, to give you information so that you can act accordingly. We live in an era and in a time where social media has done so much harm, more harm than good sometimes, because misinformation is what we run on, and we don't understand how things actually work. And so we excite people falsely because we don't have the facts. And so we like to give people facts so that you can understand what's happening in your educational system, because your child is a part of it. Whether they're in a public school, whether they're in private school, whether they're homeschooled, they still fall under the Ministry of Education, Science, Technology, and Training. And it's important for you to understand the policies, how things work. All right, so having said that, quality of education, Director, is it where it used to be, and is it where it ought to be?
In some cases it is, and in some it isn't. And what I mean by that is when we receive our teachers from the university, once they've graduated, you may have a teacher who would have, who is proficient. I mean, they come out already, you know, and then you have those who are emergent. And so we have to provide professional development for them. So we have from the emergent to the proficient. And once they get in the classroom, because, you know, when you do your practicum, it's a 10-week practicum, you know, and you're in the classroom, but it's not like the real world.
Yeah.
And so we provide mentorship for those emergent teachers. And of course, we, you know, allow those proficient ones to just run with their programs, because education is a science, but it's also an art. And sometimes we get the science down pat, we have the content, but the delivery may be the issue. And so we train our teachers, but we provide them with mentors, because those persons, they have experience with teaching a lot of children, you know, and so we provide the opportunities for professional development. We allow them to have access to expertise, collaborative expertise, we call it. So they get exposed to teachers. They actually sit in a classroom, see what the expert teacher, the proficient teacher does, and of course they get to emulate. And so yes, we do have very excellent teachers who produce very quality or excellent students, and we have those teachers that we have to provide support for.
Do you only hire from the university, or can other persons who get teaching degrees apply to education as well?
We do have other strategic partners in the, New Providence, but mainly from the University of the Bahamas. We have also gone, we have a memorandum of understanding with Cuba, and so we have some special educators from Cuba, we have technical teachers from Cuba, and so we have a recruitment committee, and they are responsible for bringing in the applications, interviewing the officers, and of course, based on our needs, providing those teachers for those schools.
So if somebody goes off to college and gets a degree in teaching, they can still apply to the Ministry of Education for a job, not have to only come from UB?
No, they can apply.
Let's talk about the kind of teacher. Do we still have teachers that, I guess the answer is yes, but I want to hear if, because you always hear people talk about, oh, my teacher in primary school, they really nurtured me, they spent time after school, and it seemed as though as we modernized, that kind of teacher seemed to have either retired or quit because they got tired and drained, or phased out, and so we now have teachers who just say, listen, man, I have the degree in teaching, there's a job, at 3 o'clock, I'm done. Are you struggling with that, or do we still have teachers with heart?
We still have teachers who stay after school. In fact, I visited a number of teachers on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. They are providing opportunities for our children. Early morning, they're providing lunchtime classes. I've been to a district where they had what they called GLAT attack, and they had all of their 6th graders in one school, and teachers were there teaching. We have a lot of teachers. They are not just providing quality opportunities. They're providing breakfast. They're providing uniforms. They are providing haircuts and plaiting of hair. We call teachers the profession of professions. They are the counselors, they're the doctors, they're the nurses. They're providing. We still have those teachers who care about children. We really do. We may have a handful who may have some issues. I'm leaving at 3:15, but by and large, the vast majority of our team members are people who go beyond the call of duty. I say they go the second mile.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Let's talk a bit about the curriculum and so forth. Junkanoo was said to be introduced into the curriculum. Did that happen, and how is that working out?
It was so wonderful, Clint. It was wonderful. I visited a few schools, and what we did is really the teacher could teach the content, just use Junkanoo in some way. For example, I visited a school, Gaventines, and they were teaching the pre-primary the letter N. And so the students learned how to sound it, they learned how to write it, and then they got to paste it. They used, newspaper, but they got to paste it. And so we asked our teachers to infuse Junkanoo within the curriculum. So if, for example, in PE, students have to warm up, instead of just doing the warm-up exercises, they doing the Junkanoo dances to warm up.
So it's not really a course, it's just infusing it into our culture, into the education system.
That's all it is.
Being creative, finding out a way that you can get Junkanoo into it.
Yes, and so they got to visit shacks. We had some of the, senior groups come and visit them. They got to learn how to paste, and so it was a total infusion in all aspects of the curriculum. And then, of course, at the end of January, they had this culminating activity. Of course, some of them participated in Junior Junkanoo, and I feel this year
it went to a whole different level.
Whole different level this year. It was fantastic.
That's exciting to hear. Now, are you satisfied with the way the curriculum is set? Are there any things you want to see changed to the curriculum? I know we've infused Junkanoo, but any changes you project that need to happen in the education system?
Well, we're doing it right now. We're reforming the curriculum. As I indicated, we have to provide more experiential opportunities for students. We want to wow the clients. When they come to school, we want them to love school, and we want them to stay in school. It means that we have to engage them. And so we have to provide opportunities that are engaging. And so our officers are reforming the curriculum. You will notice we have pools coming in schools. Yes, sir. We're excited about that. We have the Polytechnic that's being built right as we speak, and the idea is to provide those technical subjects for our students in applied sciences. And so we're really seeking to up the ante in terms of providing hands-on training. We've proven that that is what works, particularly for our children who are kinesthetic learners or who are visual learners. We want to give them experiences because we believe experiences provide meaning, and meaning will promote knowledge and transfer of training.
What advice would you give to parents as far as if you want to make sure your child is successful in the educational experience, what role do parents need to play?
Well, the research seminal studies have shown that besides the teacher has the greatest effect size on student learning, and then of course school leadership, and parents are number 3.
Wow.
You know, the parent is the first teacher, and so our expectation and my advice to parents is to get involved, participate, number 1, in PTA, attend all of the PTA meetings, sign the homework. Even if you don't know what they're doing, just sign it to say you've seen it, you know, they are writing properly, you know, sign the homework. And then thirdly, make sure that you provide an environment that shows that you value education, which means you're going to ensure that when your child needs to study, they have a place, that they get a good breakfast, that they go to bed on time, you turn off that internet in the night, you don't go sleep and leave them up, you know, and so you show through your actions the value you have for education. And of course, celebrate their achievements. You know, when they're honored, participate in the honor roll assembly and then celebrate those small wins. And we believe if you do that, your child will definitely succeed.
You must be proud of Eva Hilton. They had an award ceremony. It looked like the whole school, every parent turned out and showed up. And that school always seemed to have very good support, parental involvement. And it shows because the kids end up doing well and excelling.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough. Parental involvement is key in your child's life. It is not good enough to just make the child. Let's pause. It is not good enough to just make the child. And Royston walks in the room at the same time. It is important for you to understand that beyond making the child, you have to nurture the child. You have to develop the child. You're responsible for educating the child. They will learn in school the educational tools. You have to reinforce it at home. You can't expect your child to be a genius and you don't spend no time making sure they spend time developing school. It is important. I know sometimes parents get tired because you had a long day and you have so much other things going on, but nothing should trump the development of your child.
Education is not, you know, sometimes we look at education as consumption education. Education is an investment. That's how we need to see education. It is an investment, and for the parent, you're investing in your child's future. And I like to say to parents sometimes, listen, if you don't ensure that your child gets an education, you'll be taking care of them when they're 50.
That's right.
You want them to be able to take care of themselves, and you want them to be able to contribute positively to national development.
Correct.
But if you don't ensure they get an education, you will be taking care of them in their 50s, and they should really be taking care of you when they are 50 years old.
I'm going to take a break right here. When I come back, I want to talk about, are we graduating dummies? I know that's cold, but are we graduating people who are literally able to go to the next level? Or are we just socially promoting people? And this national average we focus on, really, what's the point of going to school if you come out and can't write your name properly? We're going to talk about that. We're watching it right now. We're back after this. Stay close.
Fashion was something that I've always loved. I always, as a child, loved to see women just impeccably dressed. But my thing was drawing the looks and mixing colors, and fashion was in my blood. I put my personality into my passion. Well, the Fabric of Hope was inspired by my father. My father had cancer, and I would go with him to treatments and seeing everybody just look despondent and dreary. And I was like, wow, like God, like, I'm only a fashion designer. Like, what can I do to assist these people? I know God had me to create it to inspire persons with cancer or any illness that there's hope. Been in my heart for a couple of days to speak to the older women who may feel that I'm 40, what can I do? I'm 50, what can I do? And that's when the fire in us kicks in. So take that idea that God has given you and put it to use. This is where it all begins.
Empowered women empower women.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas, the region's leading tourism destination. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16 island destinations.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Over 400,000 Bahamians depend on our tourism-driven economy.
That is why tourism is everyone's business.
It's the passing on of our traditions and our cultural heritage to the next generation.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Tourism is everyone's business.
From the straw we plant, to exploring our Bahama blues, to experiencing the greatest show on earth. No matter who you are, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism
is everyone's business.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Welcome back to The Rundown. Of course, my guest tonight has been the Director of Education, and we have this final segment to talk about a couple of things that I want to get in there that are burning. Obviously, the first thing I'm probably like to complain about is a national grade. Yeah. Point average is, over the national average is D. And then we look at kids coming out of school and whether they're really capable of being able to go in the workplace or go on to university. Are we still socially promoting people, or are we sure that the kids that graduate are actually kids who have attained the skills they need from a secondary education and are capable of going to the next level?
Okay. The goal of the ministry is to provide opportunities for children based on their interests, their capabilities, and their needs. And so for us, we don't call our children, those of us who are professionals and proficient, don't call our children dumb. We believe that we are practitioners. We experiment or identify which strategies work for a child. Now, the vast majority of our students, we say, find their way. We have increased the graduation rate this year by 6%. So we do believe that we are creating that 21st century graduate. We do know, though, that there are some of our students who we would say they develop a little bit later. And so you would find that after high school, they may not have received a Bahamas high school diploma, and so they we steer them towards BTVI so that they can learn a skill. And so you would find that some of them do much better because, okay, they are late bloomers. But for us, the goal is always to give them those opportunities so that wherever they're bent, whatever their their passion is, that we provide those opportunities. We believe that the national D average really, I don't know who even put that out there, simply because our children are diverse. You're comparing apples and oranges. You're not using empirical evidence. You know, if you take 5 subjects and I take 10, how can you can compare both of us and create an average? And so, you know, the system is flawed in that way. And so for us, we want to be able to say these students received these grades based on their bent, and then these students receive these micro-credentials or certifications based on their bent. And so, for example, some students may go the route of academia, university. Some students may go the route of technical schools, applied sciences. And we have engineers, we have tourism officers, we have persons in architecture who go the route of technical and vocational training. Are we saying that they are less than because they didn't go the other route? And so we want to put all of them at the table. Those who go to university, those who may go to a trade school or a polytechnic, and say to the Bahamian populace, each of those students in their right places deserve a seat at the table.
So if that is the case, why do we then benchmark applications and college entrances and jobs by saying you have to have 5 GCSEs and more, as if you don't obtain that, then you're not qualified for a job? Why do we put benchmark that? Because what you've said is all good, but if the society has not adopted that concept, then what's the point?
Well, we had a commission, the minister, Glennis Hannah Martin, sent a commission around the country. They met, they had 58 meetings with Bahamians across the country. And Bahamians have said to us, we need you to reform the Bahamas high school diploma.
Right.
And so we had to make the reformations. We had to expand access to those opportunities for those children. We look at Bahamians across this country. You have artists, you have doctors and lawyers, you have performance artists, you have persons who do fine art, visual arts. And so we have this plethora of wonderful, talented people doing diverse things, and yet we want to place all of our children in one mold. And as I remember as a student, I was never placed in a mold. I was a good physics student, but I was also a dancer. I played the trombone.
Wow.
And I also was an accounting student.
Wow.
I became an accounting teacher. And so give students the opportunities and allow them, yes, they must have the foundation. They should have literacy and numeracy skills. But once they have those foundational skills, allow them to flourish wherever they are bent. And those innate abilities could come to the fore, and we could harness those abilities and allow them to flourish. Look at Buddy Hield with basketball. So student athletics, whether it's the arts or whether it's academics, we allow our children to flourish where they've been. And that's why we're focusing on micro-learning that leads toward micro-credentials.
Our population is growing. Are we going to see any new schools anytime soon?
Well, right now we're focusing on the Polytechnic. We did open the Ragged Island all-age school that was not open from 2017.
Wow.
So those children were in the virtual space for a long time.
We have kids, and how many kids?
Right now, I think we have about 4 or 5. But I believe by the end of this school year, we will have more, because they move from the island. Because
that's true, because there was no school.
Yes, but we sent 2 teachers there, and so we're excited about that. We also opened the McLean's town, East End in Grand Bahama, because of Hurricane Dorian. That was
no longer
destroyed.
To Freeport.
Yes, and so we're working now on Low Sound Primary. We're also working on Holmes Rock Junior High.
Isn't there a new school? Is that Holmes Rock?
Yeah.
There'll be a new school out in West.
Yes.
Grand Bahama.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're completing that, and so we're excited about the opportunities that we're seeking to afford our children.
Do you expect Holmes Rock to be open by the next school year?
We're trying our best. That's as much as I can say. Last time I said yes, and then we had some.
What are the challenges? Is it staffing?
It's not staffing. We've identified staff, we've identified the furniture, but there are some things that were not completed. The campus is not completed.
It's not finished.
It's not finished. And so we're waiting for it to be completed. And once it's completed, students will have access to it.
You had an issue recently at CV Bethel Senior High School, teachers flat out. Has that been resolved? Tell us about that matter.
Yes, we did have, I think, 2 or 3 students who had a fight at CV Bethel, and as a result of that, we had some intervention by one of the teachers, and so the teacher and the child's parent, they would have met, resolved the issues, but the teachers also indicated that they wanted to see, a greater security in terms of, I think, at the rear of the school, and so they would have presented their grievances to the principal. She would have met with those teachers, as well as the shop steward, and they're working it out. CV Bethel is an excellent school. I remember, and I had to say to the Bahamian populace, this is a good school.
It is.
You're going to have children who do not know how to resolve conflicts, and that's why we provide training and opportunities for conflict resolution and communication and collaboration skills. But this is an excellent school. $6 million in scholarships,
Wow.
Athletics, the arts. They won Junior Junkanoo last year, and so, give the staff there an opportunity to help our children learn to work together.
These kids are a product of us.
Yes, they are.
And so you can't say, the school is bad. They're your children.
Yeah. Schools are a microcosm of society.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so we train them so that they're able to function in society. Yeah.
Are schools safe? Should parents be concerned about this, about safety in these schools?
Schools are very safe. In fact, if I'm to be honest, sometimes parents leave their children in school because they don't want them to be at home while they're working. They leave school, children in school sometimes until 6 p.m. at night. Schools are very safe. We have a lot of after-school programs, student enrichment programs that they can get involved in. Our teachers are there working with tutoring classes. We also have the SROs, our school resource officers. They've been a wonderful addition to our team. And so we're providing this holistic education for our children. Yeah.
How are relations with the unions?
I have a good, but I believe I have a good relationship. We connect on sometimes 6 times a day. I have a relationship because they're strategic partners with BUT, Becca Wu, BEMU, and sometimes BPSU.
You got 4 unions.
Yes.
I'm here stressing over 2. You got 4.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
But the idea, of course, is, we want to resolve issues because we have one goal in mind, and we keep that at the forefront of everything that we do, student achievement. And so whatever the barriers are, if there are issues, let's resolve the issues. Let's come to the table so that we create a win-win environment because we want to build our country. And so we meet with our stakeholders. They are strategic stakeholders. We consider them partners, and we want them to be at the table because we want for them to help us. Sometimes I would call a union exec and ask, do you have a teacher that I could use? And they would actually go into their chats and identify teachers who could support our effort.
That's what partnership is all about.
Yeah.
That is absolutely...
We don't agree all the time on everything, I might as well tell you.
Of course not.
But we're seeking to make it work.
As we get ready to close, I'm going to give you a wish list. If you had a wish list of 5 things that you could get anything you need in education, what would those 5 things be on your wish list?
5 things. Well, certainly funding. We need the funding. I would have an aide in every classroom. I would have academic success coaches for every school so that those students who have need, they would get I would have resources in terms of equipment because especially for technical and vocational training, it's very expensive, but we need the equipment, the resources. All of the curriculum materials that we need, I need them. And so I would also have curriculum, supplies.
Yeah, because teachers talk about how expensive.
All of the software.
It is to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, I think that's a doable list. I think we got to make sure we speak a little louder. I think I've been preaching for I don't know how long the fact that we have so many multi-million-dollar investors that come into this country daily, and I believe they ought to be funding and seeding into our programs for youth and development and being able to help fund some of the things that government can provide. Yeah. They ought to be able to fund because they're going to be coming for the same pool in a matter of years to staff their projects, and so I believe they ought to be the ones donating and giving a part of what it is. All right, 2 things if you could change your wish, you didn't need any permission, you just could just change it with the education system. What would the 2 things be?
Well, sometimes we have to make decisions on the fly. We have to be able to pivot when we need to. Yeah. So if we could remove some of the bureaucracy,
yes.
That's number 1 for me because we need to make decisions. And our children, I think John Hattie said it, you have 1 year to make an impact. So I can't wait a year to get the paperwork. Yeah. I need to get it done now. So definitely that. And for me, always ensuring that the most skilled people get the positions, not seniority, not years, but skills. Skills is the new currency.
Wow, that's some good stuff. Director, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service and the work that you're doing. We look forward to seeing education continue to transform. Thank you.
And thank you, so it was a wonderful time.
Good having you. Good having you. That does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay locked on the ZNS Network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's a final newscast in the country with the latest news and information with Royston Jones. He's in the building now, getting ready for the 11 o'clock news. That does it for all of us here at ZNS. I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night. Let's go.
Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our side wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You could do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under